Good day everybody, Fuzz here, welcome back to Dragon Quest XI. We're going to continue on ploughing through Angri-La today, and we've already had a brief encounter with the High Lama, and we've gone ahead and collected all the loot and treasures and whatnot that are found around this area. There's one more thing we can get in a little bit, nothing too exciting, but I'll point that out to you as it becomes available. For starters, we're going to start heading up. So we were already on the middle level, and we're going to make our way up to the upper level here. Hey, that dude's getting exercise. Very wise, very wise. Yeah, you can get fit by running up and down the stairs. And especially in this weather, I think you need to stay warm, don't you? So, once you're ready, guys, you're going to head into the High Hall. It's the only place you can go into on this level, so it's not too difficult to find, to tell you the truth. And inside, a cutscene's going to commence, where we find out a little bit more about this place.
I welcome you once again to Angri-La, honored Luminary. As I believe you know, it is my privilege to serve as High Lama of this most sacred temple.
I am to address you as Your Holiness, correct? Might I ask what you and your people know of my companion?
Why, everything, of course. We have awaited his coming ever since the day he entered this world, in the castle of Dundrasil.
Waiting for him? What do you mean?
I mean exactly what I say, nothing more. Tell me, do you recognize the symbol on this banner? It is the emblem of Dundrasil. Since the Age of Heroes, the princes of that nation have come here to train with us for 6 years of their youth. Your young friend was born a prince of Dundrasil. Thus did we expect him to come here as a boy and study under the great Grand Master Fang. Sadly, that was not to be.
So if fate had been kinder, you would have spent a good part of your childhood here. What of his tutor, this Grand Master Fang you speak of?
When the Lord of Shadows brought the world tree low, the Master set out to summon a magical mandala to protect the temple from destruction. The spell succeeded, but its power was too great. Grand Master Fang did not return.
A noble sacrifice indeed.
Now that the Master is gone, it falls to me to guide you. Come to the field of discipline. It lies behind this hall. There is something you must see.
It is a shame that the Grand Master cannot be here. I would have liked to meet one so noble. Come, let us see what His Holiness has in store.
Control returns at this point, and what we want to do before we actually follow the High Lama is just make our way up the staircase here in this building. And we'll come across this corridor, which we can just run across, more like a bridge really than anything else. And we come to this interesting room, but if we just do a sharp turn to the left as we enter, we'll find a wardrobe that has a hidden item in it. Nothing too exciting, just some magic water. But I did mention there was an item for us to grab, and that would be it. So once you guys have grabbed that, you're going to want to make your way back down that staircase. And we're just going to head out of the back area. You can see it on the map. Back into the, well, I guess the cave or whatever this place is. Out into the snowy regions once more. And into the field of discipline before we go into this interesting building. And speak to the High Lama once more.
Beyond those doors lies the field of discipline, where students of Angri-La strive for enlightenment. Before we tread upon this hallowed ground, let me tell you a little of our history. And of the luminary of legend himself, Erdwin. Before setting out to defeat the Dark One, Erdwin came to our temple to learn from the Wise Ones, who made their homes here even then. The first Grand Master, i.e., accepted him as a disciple, and trained him in the secrets of spiritual realization. But he did not train alone. During his time here, he met someone who would change his fate forever.
Who was this person?
Another of I.Yi's disciples, a young mage whose talent outshone that of all who had come before. A man named Morkant. Erdwin and Morkant would train together every day, each striving to outstrip the other. Though they were fierce rivals, they became firm friends. When their training was complete, Morkant joined with Erdwin in his quest to slay the Dark One. Without Morkant's magic, he might never have prevailed. Before setting out, they carved an inscription into this stone, a pledge of eternal friendship. It has been a treasure of ours ever since.
Morkant. I have not heard the name before.
Now, allow me to show you to the field of discipline, if you would be so good as to follow me.
Indeed, we are just going to follow the llama at this point, as we continue on understanding the Angry-La area a little bit more here.
Welcome to the field of discipline. Since the Age of Heroes, many a would-be warrior has spilt sweat and blood upon these flagstones. If your karma had been different, this is where you would have trained under Grand Master Fang, like all the princes of Dundrasil before you. I have brought you here so that you might stand in the footsteps of your ancestors. An unbroken line leading all the way back to the Age of Heroes. Even your grandfather, Lord Robert, completed his training here. The memory of his achievements shall live long in the temple's memory.
His achievements?
Fang was a harsh master. With this implement, disciples whose efforts were lacking were given motivation, directly to their fundament. It became known as the Naughty Stick. During the course of his 6 years of tuition, your grandfather's right honourable posterior was paddled an unprecedented 10,000 times. The tale of Lord Robert's road to enlightenment lives on to this day. Every disciple knows that he must focus at all times, lest he face the same fate.
A legendary achievement indeed.
You are worried for your grandfather, yes? Do not be. Lord Robert overcame every challenge set for him by the Grand Master, and emerged stronger every time. The fall of the World Tree would not have been enough to extinguish one so resilient. He is alive. I sense it. Tonight there will be a modest feast in the High Hall to celebrate your long-awaited arrival. We would be greatly honored if you would join us. We may not be able to aid you as we would have done were Master Fang still with us, but in this respect at least, we can provide.
Okay, so basically we're going to rest up now until morning. We don't get to witness the night festivities. Probably for the better, to be honest.
Awake at last, It is high time we were on our way. If the Grand Master was still alive, perhaps we might have learned something to help us in our fight against the Lord of Shadows. Sadly, it was not to be.
Okay, so once more we're going to get brief control over our party here, and pretty much all we can do is exit the building here. We could have probably just grabbed that magic water at this point as well, but not to worry. We've possessed it in our inventory for a whole 2 minutes longer than we otherwise would have. And we're just going to make our way back down the stairs once more here. And out of the building. And we'll see what's going on.
And the Hermit? What news of him?
Forgive us, Your Holiness. The monsters on the mountain path were too strong. We were unable to reach him.
I see.
Your Holiness, is there a problem?
Yes, Sir Hendrik. I fear there is. You see, 2 weeks ago a hermit visited us, unannounced, then just as suddenly departed for the top of the mountain.
Alone? Whatever for?
That I do not know. The moment he heard that Master Pang had passed away, he ran from the temple. He was last seen climbing the path to the summit. The mountain has become infested with monsters, emboldened and strengthened by the rise of the Lord of Shadows. It is a perilous place indeed. This being so, I dispatched a group of disciples to return him to safety. As you can see, things did not go quite as planned.
I have trained all my life for a moment such as this, and yet I have failed in my first true test. I have brought shame upon Angri-La.
Might we be able to offer some assistance?
I thank you for your kindness, but you are guests here. I cannot ask you to undertake such a dangerous task.
A knight of Heliodor does not abandon an innocent in need. These people have shown us great kindness. It is only right that we do them a kindness in return. Would you not agree?
Thank you from the bottom of my heart, but I cannot allow you to bear this burden alone. I shall come with you. We must depart for the summit of Mount Panglai without delay. After exiting the temple, we will take the path to the east in order to begin our ascent.
Okay, so in a nutshell, a hermit came to visit Angri-La and has decided, since Master Pang is no longer here, to run away again. Only this time he's ran into the monster-infested mountain, and we are going to go and rescue him. At least that's the plan. So what we're going to start with is to actually pick up a side quest. Yeah, there's a side quest in this area. Just need to find it. So if we head back down to the previous level, we've got a nice purple dot on the map here. We'll go and speak to this fella and see what he's got to say for himself. So I did mention at the end of the last episode that you might want to go ahead at some point and build up the pep gauges for both the hero and for Hendrik, since this side quest is going to involve a pep power called Blaze of Glory, which will require both characters to be in pep state. So let's go ahead and accept there. So what we want to do is fight one of the larger flying snake type enemies called the Boreal Serpent. We did actually battle one in the last episode as well, so you guys should know what that is. But I'm going to save up here, get into pep state with both characters, and we'll go and complete the quest together then. Okay, so I've got both characters into pep state here, so what I recommend is just encounter one of these guys, and it might not be a bad idea to save your game before you use the pep power in case it goes wrong. Make sure your tactics are set for everybody to follow orders. And we need to actually kill this enemy with the pep power, not just go ahead and damage it. So I'm going to start with a standard attack, just to start laying on some damage here. In fact, I'm going to go for 2 standard attacks, I think. Hopefully we won't kill it. Nope. Just get it into, I guess, relatively low health. And then we want to use the pep power that's known as Blaze of Glory. Oh, as a matter of fact, it doesn't actually cause damage to the enemy. I haven't used this pet power before. So it puts a temporary buff on our party. And we just need to kill the enemy while it's active. So it's potentially a useful pet power, actually. But let's go ahead and cast Parallax. We should be able to kill this guy before the hero dies. There we go.
Victory is ours.
Yeah, so you can probably cast that right at the start of the battle. That was my mistake there. I should have probably tested that, but there we go. Once you've gone ahead and done that with the quest active, then you'll obviously get this bit of dialogue here, saying the quest is completed. And you might just want to go ahead and head back. Can we zoom back? It's a good question, actually. Yeah, we can. We can zoom straight back to Angri-La there and go and hand the quest in. You'll need to make your way back up to the middle level of Angri-La, and then we can once again speak to the quest giver, who is in exactly the same position. and hand in for our reward, which will be a mystic. There we go. And another quest completed. Quite a simple one, actually. Nothing too challenging about it. It wasn't really hard for me to get both characters into pep state at the same time. I think Fuzz went into it, and then about 2 or 3 rounds later, Hendrik did also. So I'd imagine it'd be a similar situation for you guys as well. Right, so I'm going to rest up, and then we'll continue on with the quest here. The main quest, of course. So once we're back outside, you're going to head over to the east, and we saw this summit tunnel previously, but now we'll actually be able to have access to it, which we didn't before. So you want to make your way over here, and it's quite a linear dungeon, if we can call it a dungeon. I suppose it is a dungeon. And there's only, I think, 1 item or so to grab in this place as well. So first things first, we're just going to run all the way through. As you can see, it's super linear. And there's, as far as I'm aware, no new enemies to encounter here as well. These dragons we've actually fought before, so even they're not new. Even though they look impressive, trust me, we fought them. You'll want to go ahead and defeat that shiny dragon rider so that we can make our way up to the next area. And as you can see, it's going to involve a lot of flap spamming here, unfortunately. Well, I mean, it's not exactly that annoying, so let's just get it sorted, shall we? And you will, of course, probably be engaging enemies along the way, since they're a little bit more difficult to dodge, in my opinion, since we're on the Dragon Rider here. Right then, anyway. There's a lake in this section. We can actually swim across this lake, since we're on the mount anyway, over these stalagmites, stalactites, whatever these things are. And then drop down to a little island at the end where there's a treasure chest. I mentioned there was 1 item to grab, and it's a Sorcerer's Ring, and that is the item there, okay? So make sure you don't miss out on that. And then all we need to do is literally, while staying on the mount, of course, just flap around right until the very end of this particular area. So just continue over to the east. So if you can hear my annoying button spam there. I'm clicking like mad, believe it or not. And away we go. And out the other side. So once we come outside, bit of a loading screen first. We just need to make our way. Well, I'll wait until the screen's loaded. There we go. We're on some steps. This is the Summit Shrine area. You can see there's a campsite at the top as well. We're just going to run up here, and there's going to be a cutscene for us. Okay, so first things first, as you probably guessed, we're going to want to make use of the camp. And there's actually a sword we might be able to craft if we've got the ingredients for it. So let's go ahead and select forge items. This is actually a sword, a great sword for the hero. I know we've been using the weapon from the casino for such a long time now. But I'm going to check, because it could actually potentially be an upgrade. Since we've been collecting a lot of recipes and stuff. It's the Worm Fang. I mean, the Demon's Bane's an upgrade on its own. But look at that. 330, so an extra 10 points without it being even in its perfect form. So what I'm going to do, since it does require a fair amount of ingredients, although the dragon hides and dragon horns you can purchase if you don't have enough, I'm going to go ahead and save first, and then we'll go ahead and forge. Okay, so I've managed to get the Worm Fang to +3. I did have to rework it at one point, as in one time. So you can actually rework the ice axe as well if you purchase that for Hendrik in the equipment shop. I did mention you might want to do that. So let's finally go ahead and get rid of the power sword, which has been a trusty weapon for us for the better part of the game. And we are getting a huge increase to our attack here, at a slight cost to our charm, but what the heck. The power is where it's at, I think, for the main hero here. So let's go ahead and get that bad boy equipped there. And with that equipped, we are, of course, going to rest up to make sure that we add the campsite to our list of Zoom destinations. But also to heal up as well, especially if you've encountered any enemies over the last, traversing of the area. And you might want to go ahead and save as well. So let's go ahead and do that. I did save just before crafting, but I don't want to have to craft a +3 weapon again if everything should go wrong in this next section, which I'm hoping it won't, but you never know. And that's because we have a boss fight coming up. Okay. So when you're ready, we're going to go ahead and approach the Hermit up these steps here.
It seems we are too late. Is this the Hermit we came in search of?
Unfortunately so. He was in deep meditation when he breathed his last. I am glad at least that he was prepared to meet his fate. But that posture, it is awful. Uniquely awful. I know it from somewhere.
Incredible! Issue 1 of the Ogre's Digest. And in mint condition. Ah, indeed. It seems our friend here made his peace with the world before departing. This, at least, is some small solace. Huh? But this is one of the royal treasures of Dundrasil. Why would a lowly hermit have such a... By the skies, can it really be?
Lord Robert!
Your grandfather was Master Pang's most fervent disciple. Can he have chosen to follow his mentor to the next life, perhaps?
No, he is still breathing.
What?
His spirit hovers in the place between life and death. It is only a matter of time before he passes the point of no return. But there may yet be a way to save him. If you were to follow him into the void, you might be able to bring him back.
But how? Is this even possible?
The ancient teachings tell us that the summit of Mount Panglai stands at the crossroads between this world and the next. If you will permit me, I can perform an ancient rite that will send you to the place between worlds. But it is not a decision to be taken lightly. Once that place is entered, there is no guarantee of return. Well, will you take that chance? Will you visit the void and bring Lord Robert back to us? Very well. I will prepare for the ritual. Tell me when you are ready, and we will begin.
Okay then, so obviously this is Rab, and he's actually in a deep meditation. Lost a little weight by the looks of things. We're going to go ahead and speak to the Lama. And that does nothing, so we'll go ahead and speak to Rab himself. Oh, actually, maybe we do need to speak to the Lama, and I just missed. There we go, then, yes. So we speak to the Lama, and then we'll tell him we are ready to enter the Void World. But we can actually go ahead and save again if you want to. I'm going to finish the episode off here, because I didn't realise it had been going on so much. And we'll take care of the Void and the boss fight in the next episode. So please do come back and join me for that then, guys. But thanks for stopping by today, folks. Hope you've enjoyed the episode and that it's been helpful too. You completed a quest as well and got a nice new weapon that I'm eager to test out also. So, yeah, take care, everyone, and I'll see you soon. Goodbye.